Tab Hunter, welcome back to P-Town.
Thank you. It's been a long time.
When was the last time you were here?
50 years ago.
So you once said, I lived a very don't ask, don't tell life. So then why now the film and the book?
Well, the book, Alan said to me, I think you should do a book. And I said, are you kidding? And he said, no, I heard that somebody's going to be doing a book on you. And I thought about it, and I thought, look, I'm not dead yet. Get it from the horse's mouth and not from some horse's ass after I'm dead and gone. Because people always want to put a spin in your life, and that's just, I don't like that. I mean, I've got nothing to hide. This is my journey. We're all on a journey, and I will write the journey.
When you were #1 at the box office in the movies, you made great movies like Battle Cry and Damn Yankees. Does it upset you that people like George Takei, all they mention is the fact you took your shirt off each time?
Well, people do that. You know, they hang labels on you too. You know, they called me the side guy or one of those ridiculous names. But that's just a label, and people love to label people. You know, she's like this, he's like that, they're like this, so forth. I think I hate labels, and that's the first line in my book in big capital letters. I hate labels. I think the important thing is what you are as a human being.
But did you take your shirt off in every movie?
Not every movie, but quite a few. Pretty boring.
It wasn't boring. You were hot. You were still hot. But another quote, which I can't let go by without asking you, you said once, Rock Hudson was not my type. Really?
No, Rock was a really nice guy. He was a neighbor of ours in Beverly Hills. But no, I mean, I'm not, you know, people have, you know, different people that appeal to them, as, you know, and Rock was a terrific guy, wonderful neighbor, and in fact, we just had dinner with Carol Burnett the other evening.
Did you?
And she and Rocket were very close, and they'd worked together, and yeah. No, he was a terrific human being.
I think one of the important things for us that you did make this movie is because you're the last. I mean, there's no James Dean, no Rock Hudson, so it's important to hear your story.
Well, I was very fortunate. I was the end of a movie era. You know, the studio contracts were dying. Studio moguls didn't know which way to go with their films anymore. The influx of European films made a tremendous impact. People wanted real people in real situations. They didn't want that la-di-da kind of BS that was fun and total escapism, and I sort of miss it. So when I do, I just turn on Turner Classic Movies, you know.
We miss it too.
But there was a simplicity that was really kind of nice, and I like that.
Tab, what would you want your acting legacy to be?
I don't know. I tried. I did the best I could, and I think that's important. Do the best you can, because life is about contribution. I think we're all here to contribute, and we shouldn't forget that.
You went from Hollywood to Baltimore, but you looked extremely happy in that move. Were you as happy as you looked on the film in Polyester?
I love doing that film. I was doing a play in Indianapolis, and just finished the play, and John called me up, John Waters. He called me up and he said, my name is John Waters, I don't know if you know me. I said, no, you're a major fan. He said, well, I have a script that I'd like you to read for a film with Divine. How would you feel about doing working with Divine? I said, oh, I loved Mundo Trasho. That was great. And the, you know, Diane Linklater story, all of that. So I read the script and said, I'd like to do it, because I had 10 days off before I was to do another play. And he said, well, one question, how would you feel about kissing a 350-pound transvestite? I said, well, I'm sure I've kissed a hell of a lot worse. No, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and John was just terrific. And so was Divine.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite leading ladies.
Really?
What can I say?
That's so good. I mean, we won't dish Sophia Loren, but better Sophia than Sophia?
Well, there's a total difference there. You got to accept things as they are.
If you started out all over today, and there was still a Hollywood studio system, would you choose that again or go Indy and John? What do you do?
What do you mean?
If you started off again as a young man, and there was still a Jack Warner around, would you choose to go that route again, or would you go to indie movies?
Well, I've always loved independent filmmaking. I think it's all a question of growth, to grow, and survival. because Hollywood has a tendency to grab onto this and then just say, oh, you're a has-been in 2 seconds. And it's all about surviving and contributing. I think that's important.
And you had more control in independence? Huh?
I think in independence you have more control, but you may not have all the opportunities that a studio provides for you. A studio gives a great deal of security, gave a great deal of security to actors. They would build you into however they wanted to represent you, and that was your job. You did as they asked. And if you didn't, you were out and another actor was there. It was your job. So either do it to the best of your ability or get the heck out.
And when you came out, that was a sign to us that we could come out and say, we found you hot as well. Was you as shocked to find out that you had all these male fans in the closet? I
knew that there were fans, but I never came out, so to speak, because to me that just, when I think of the word coming out, I think of somebody going blah, 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 and being in your face. And I'm just not an in-your-face kind of a person. That's just not part of my character and part of me as a human being.
When you revealed yourself?
Well, I had a very strict German, old-fashioned upbringing, and a very Catholic upbringing, and I like that. I respect that, and it's a very important part of my life.
But telling your story about your honesty of not choosing to go for a lavender marriage, as I think they called them in those days, and being honest to yourself, it's made you into an accidental activist to a younger generation.
I think you should be who you are. But the difficult thing is when you're in the public eye, one has to divorce oneself from oneself. I think that's major for all of us, whether you're an actor or not, really, for our growth. People are always saying, oh, I have to be this and I have to be me. I think there are boundaries, and I think those parameters are very important for us. My mother used to say there's yes and no in between. That's
but you kept your honesty about, you weren't pushed into nowhere, you were who you were, and didn't get married and kept to your faith as well.
Well, I tried to, and it was a major struggle. It was a major struggle for me, but nothing is easy. I think you just can't sweep it all under the carpet. You have to address it and realize how you're going to handle it.
And are you surprised, or what's your reaction to the fact you are a role model to our community? Whether you like it or not, you are a role model.
Well, that's all very nice, and I appreciate that. But you know, Jack Warner said at one time, today's headlines, tomorrow's toilet paper.
What advice would you give now to any young man struggling with his sexuality?
That is difficult. I can't give advice, but I do think the important thing is to be truthful to yourself. Geraldine Page said something to me really interesting many years ago. I was doing a television show with her, and I said, God, you know, Jerry, the press loves you, and they hate my guts. And she grabbed hold of my arm and said, remember this, Tab. If people don't like you, that's their bad taste. I went, whoa, that's powerful. And I thought, you know, I like that. So all I do is I pass that on to everyone I think, you know, it can help. If people don't get your message, that's their problem, not yours. As long as you're going down the road doing the best you possibly can.
Great advice from a great woman.
Oh, fabulous woman.
You were lucky to work with her.
I loved her.
The life you've had.
I've had some pretty interesting people I've
worked with.
So
personal advice then. I'm about to marry my partner who is 26 younger than me. How do you make it work?
You just go with the flow. You know, and the most important thing I think for all of us is just every day be thankful. Say thank you and don't forget it.
That's good. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tab Hunter, for joining us today. And your movie, Tab Hunter Confidential, I'm thrilled it is now out on VOD, on iTunes and everywhere else. Enjoy the rest of your stay here.
Thank you so much.